sound skill we'll learn today, highlighting our feet here, is the shuffle. So shuffles, just like the flaps, as I talked a tiny bit about, can be done at two different rhythms. You can have a short one, which is going to be the a 1, a 2, a 3 count, like we mostly practice our flaps, or you can do long ones that would be either 1, 2, or 1 and 2. So they're evenly spaced, and I'm going to give you examples of both of those. But let's start with the technique of a shuffle. So just as the technique with the flap, you're going to work your hip flexors and your knee flexors and extensors. So they're going to go up and down. Again, not forward and back. If you were taught this way, it's easier to teach that way when you're younger, but really it sets up a bad muscle memory pattern. This version is really inefficient. This version is a lot more efficient, and I'll give you an example of that later. So a shuffle is two brushes put together, or some people may say a brush and a spank. For me, there's a forward brush and a back brush. And some people will call that back brush a spank as well too. Not wrong, you can do them either way, but for me, a spank would come from your heel already being on the floor, whether or not you made a sound before or not, and you pull the toe up. So that gives that brush back a little more emphasis. So this is the even shuffle. We're gonna count it 1 and 2 and 3. Now I find this one not very exciting when you do them all on one leg. And so I'm gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. I'm gonna change sides so I can show you the other side. So demonstration of not how to do it, really quick before I actually do the left side. What you don't wanna do is swing back and forth from your knee, but you wanna go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 to change sides. Now, another thing you want to be aware of is that, again, just like in the flap, you don't want your ankle to be doing the work, but your thigh. So I have a nice relaxed ankle in there. So that's an even shuffle, even shuffle. I'm going to show you from the back as well too. So shuffle, shuffle, down, up, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Left side, 1, balance 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Now, as I said before, that's not very exciting done that way. So most likely I would do something like this with that. So let's practice this. We're gonna go shuffle, step, shuffle, step. And I would count that 1 and 2, hold, 3 and 4, hold, 5 and 6, hold, 7 and 8, hold. So that's more likely where I would use that long shuffle. But again, it's all going to depend about what kind of sounds you want to make from your feet. What kind of rhythms do you want to do? So moving on to the second type of shuffle, your short shuffle or uneven. This is going to have the same rhythm as the flaps. A 1, a 2, a 3. So it means there's going to be a pause in between each one. Before, I was making it like a metronome. 1, 2, or 1, 10. Very even. Now I'm going to go a 1, a 2, 3, 4. So you have a little pause there. So that's a little more exciting. And it's a little bit, I think of it as quite snappy. You can see my ankle is very released and loose when I do it, versus again, trying to get my ankle to do all the work. So be as relaxed as possible. I'm gonna try that other side. So 1, 2, 3, I'll change on 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So nice loose ankle, using my hip flexor to pull my leg up and down. I'm gonna do it from back view here as well. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Change. 1, 2, 3, that ankle a bit more dangly. A 6, a 7, 8. So that is that uneven shuffle or short shuffle. If I did it with this step in it like I did with the even shuffle, rhythm is different. It would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a little more exciting to listen to. The rhythm is different. 1, you're tacking it rather than 1 and 2 and keeping it all even there. So I'm going to give you a little example here. I'm going to get faster. You can obviously try this faster if you want. But the differences in the efficiency of doing them one version over another. So this is going to be fast. I'm going to going to face it backward. No, I'm going to stay sideways here. The efficiency of doing it down and up versus back and forth. So I'm going to go fairly fast with this. Again, you can't do it, but I just want you to see. And which you won't be able to see very much because my upper body is really going to rock with the inefficient version. So I'm going to do 7 shuffles, step on 8 to change sides. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll notice I did an air tap in there. Air taps happen all the time. Now I'm going to do the forward and back version, less efficient. So that made me lose my balance as well too. I have a lot of control if it's coming up and down rather than forward and back. And you'll notice that your balance is better, your sounds are clearer, and you'll notice too when I sped up, things got smaller. So 1, 2, 3. I'm lifting quite high to eat up that eat up that time. But if I go fast, I'm making everything smaller. I'm still going down and up, but it's not as big. So that's one of the rules you'll find is you get faster, things will get smaller. As you're doing them slower, they are bigger. So we're gonna do some shuffles with the music. So I'm gonna do even shuffles, uneven shuffles. So the first one I'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Then I'll do the same thing left. All the way to 8, and then I'll do the 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8, 7, 8, same thing left. I'll do a slow version first, then a fast version for you guys. Even long shuffle. Here we go. Right foot. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Left. different tempos. Again, you will be at a different rate than your other classmates. So do the version that works best for you and do it over and over again. So there's no need to jump to the fast one until you've really got it down in the slower version. So one last thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna do an even shuffle step. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Then we're gonna try the same thing. So I'm making this shorter. I'm gonna do just 1 8, and then you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so we're gonna go even for 8, uneven for 8, even for 8, uneven for 8 at a slow tempo, and then we'll go to the double time tempo, same exact thing. Just another little challenge for you to practice at home to get used to those two different versions of shuffles. 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and uneven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and go back to even. 5 and 6, 7 and uneven. And stepping on the ball of my foot, but I put my heel down quietly. 7 and double time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. And that's your shuffles. And again, you may need to go back and practice several times without this video because you don't want a video that's 30 minutes long trying to practice this. In class, we would obviously spend more time on it, but this way you can do it on your own, kind of watch the video, learn the steps, and then practice and practice and practice. So repetition, repetition, repetition. So those are your shuffles. Even shuffle, 1 and 2 and, or you can count it 1, 2, depending on how fast your music is, or uneven.